And Eastlake Golf Club has undergone some significant changes as the renovations began immediately following the 2023 Tour Championship. Earlier today, Todd Lewis caught up with Bland Cooper, the senior agronomy official on site at Eastlake, for more on what players can expect this week at the Tour Championship.
Well, I'm with senior competitions agronomy official Bland Cooper. We're on the first hole here of this restoration at Eastlake, headed up by Andrew Green. What was his vision to make this masterpiece?
Andrew's vision was based on a 1949 photograph, an aerial photograph that has been very well documented. It was a high-resolution photograph for that time and period, but it showed the original routing of this golf course in its Donald Ross version. And not only did it show the routing in one dimension, but it had enough of high definition to where you could actually see shadow lines in a lot of the features. So not only was he able to get the routing back to where it was in the 1940s and 50s, he was also able to establish the topography of a lot of these features. What he did here was phenomenal. And his vision, people like me could never envision something like this, right? The project was an extremely aggressive project, Todd. This was a project that really was about a 20-month time window that we had to cram into 12. You talk about 6 million square feet of sod that was put out, over 4 acres of sprigs, 20-something miles of drainage pipe, brand new irrigation system, dredging of ponds, hundreds of trees. It really was a project that was extremely aggressive, and Charles Aubrey, who's the director of agronomy, and his staff, they're the real unsung heroes in this whole thing. This would not have happened without Charles and what the team here was able to accomplish.
Well, we're on the first hole, and no hole, by the way, it looks the same. Let's go check out some more.
Yes.
Here we are on the 9th hole, long par 3, well over 200 yards, kind of an iconic hole on the front 9. I see the shaping of this green, and around the green is quite different than we've seen in years past, right?
It is, and this hole is consistent with a lot of holes in the golf course with these large expanded chipping areas. As we look at the 9th hole, these two left hole locations that we have are actually supported by two unique features. One of them is this chipping area to the left, this prism zoysia grass, which it doesn't take a lot of movement for the ball to pick up a lot of speed and move a good distance away from the green. And this is, you'll see this a lot on this golf course. Not a tremendous amount of slope, but a lot of speed. Now, what also protects this whole location, we can walk down here and look at this bunker.
Man.
Andrew did a fantastic job of placing some very penal bunkers in strategic places. The depth of this bunker, it's kind of hard to see, but it's almost to the 9 feet mark when you get into the very bottom of it.
Okay, so we're down here, and we have what is essentially kind of a back right hole location. We can't see the flag.
If you're in here on a back right hole location, you've hit a really bad shot.
That's true. But if it's in a left hole location, yeah, you can probably see the top of the flag.
You should be able to maybe see the top third. If it's further back, maybe just the very top of it. So it's an intimidating bunker shot from here.
Yeah, an intimidating tee shot, intimidating bunker shot, tough chipping area. It's a tough hole.
Yeah, glad they're playing it, not me.
All right, let's get to the back 9. And Tom Hoagie getting to know the new Eastlake. We're on the 16th green here, and viewers will notice that there are some trouble spots on this green, right, Bland?
There are. This is a really unique feature that Andrew was able to discern from that 1949 overhead. And this large cliff, basically, that's to the right of this green. And what it does, it really protects all the hole locations on the right side of this hole. You can see we're in the front right section of this green. If a ball were to just barely trickle over, that ball is now going to go some 12 feet down the slope.
I mean, that's in the rough.
And off into the rough.
Yeah.
If you hit it a little further back, as we can show, I'm going to roll one back in this area. It's, again, all the way down into that area, leaving a very, very difficult recovery shot. So this is going to be a really fun hole to watch, especially when we use these right hole locations. Yeah, it's going to be very entertaining.
And not to mention, not only to mention that the fact that this green slopes a little bit in the back portion, at least from left to right as well, kind of pushing the balls that way.
It does. He created a very nice hole location in the back section of the green, as you can see back there. The same thing, a ball that goes too far is going to go off the back of the green and collect in this chipping area. So it's a very well-protected green. It really demands the golfer play to the left center of the green.
Now, only the best at the Tour Championships, so you better be sharp on 16. All right, Bland, here we are on the 18th hole. The FedEx Cup could be decided right here on this par 5 come Sunday. What are the changes on this hole?
The changes, Todd, begin back in the fairway. Andrew created a lot more movement in the fairway, created some mounding to really demand a much more accurately struck, well-struck drive that's going to land in the dead center in order to maintain your position in the short grass. If you are to miss in the left rough, this pond has had its footprint extended towards the green into the approach. It's going to be a much more challenging shot to hit a ball from out of that deep rough over this pond and now into this approach. The green has been tilted in a completely different direction. It used to have a right to left tilt. Andrew has set it in with the natural topography. He's created a lot of interesting hole locations. Any of them could be an exciting Sunday hole location.
Yes, and well bunkered too. Deep bunkers around the green as well.
Well bunkered. As you move further away, the bunkers get deeper. So it's a very guarded green, and it's going to demand an extremely well-struck second shot.
Seems like Andrew Green has gone back in time while at the same time being progressive with this restoration. Now the big question, how is this golf course going to play for some of the world's best? Is it going to be tougher than in years past?
Todd, you're talking to about a 12 handicap right now, but I would tell you that in looking at it and walking it as many times as we have, I do believe it is a more difficult golf course. I think it's going to demand very properly placed shots on these greens with the roll-offs in the back, especially out of the rough. So I could be dead wrong about that. We'll know Sunday afternoon, but I do believe it's going to be a more difficult golf course.
Well, I can promise you this, the players and the caddies are working hard, getting to know the new East Lake here at Atlanta.